Welcome to today's topic, which is all about giving, something incredibly important to all of us in our Pacific community. It's a good question to think about these events in our lives that we are giving towards, and I'd like to encourage our Pacific community to understand that these events are actually part of who we are, and they're actually part of our day-to-day life. So when we come up with budgets and planning, we actually need to incorporate how much we are able to give should an occasion arise. And a good way to think about it, if you just had birthday presents, there might be a limit that you know that for the children in your family, this is how much you'll spend, and maybe for the adults, you won't give gifts. When it comes to the larger occasions, generally you know when these are going to come, apart from a bereavement, so you know when a 21st is coming. So you'll build that into your annual budget. You'll actually start saving for that quite well ahead of time. And I think a lot of our families are really good at doing this. They know things are coming, and they know important ceremonies are on their way, and they'll start putting a little bit aside all the time. So I do encourage people to keep up with that great habit, to think about things on the horizon and plan for them when you can. Now, for when things are unexpected, particularly like a bereavement, a lot of people sometimes will get into incredible stress by thinking that they need to give quite a lot, an amount possibly that they cannot actually withstand in their own lives. And we all know that we love our families and we want to show that we care, but that comes back to the philosophy of money, which is we can't tie our worth up into our money. So sometimes you might come to an occasion and someone's giving quite a large amount, and that you may be only able to afford a small amount. But can I emphasise that doesn't come down to your worth? Whoever's passed is not there with God judging you for how much you were able to give. The idea of understanding that money is how much can you afford with the lifestyle that you lead to be able to give. And another good way I always think about it is my grandparents all passed without leaving a lot of money. And to me, I would think, well, what would happen if they had a lot of money and they left it to me, or what would they have wanted to happen when they were gone? And we all know when we tie back to the ultimate purpose of our lives, our families and our loved ones, they are not about you giving significant sums of money. And now some of us can afford to give significant amounts, and that was almost fulfilling their purpose, that they have got a good career, they have accumulated enough wealth that they can give back to their family and they can help them through what is an incredibly sad and emotional occasion. And so I'm not saying not do that, I'm just saying you need to understand what you are able to give and not to attach your worth to how much you gave. What you give comes from the life that you are leading. Sometimes I know stress can be caused and just in everyday giving. I know people incredibly generous who won't think beyond a cause that gets put in front of them, and then they will give. And they will give away possibly the money that was for them to be able to lead their life maybe 1 or 2 weeks down the track. So I do encourage you, when you're faced with something that tugs at your heartstrings, that you do think, just because this thing is immediate and you want to help, that you do remember your plan, you do remember your budget, because you actually need to live and you need to take care of your family and keep them safe and warm just as much as these causes that can happen in front of us on a more immediate basis. I do know of other times people can go into loans. They will loan money to be able to give more to an occasion. And this will be another topic we talk about, entering into debt. But what you want to do is when you get money through a loan, you only really want to do that when whatever you get from being able to use that money is of enduring benefit. It's going to be, so your future self, when you're entering into this loan, are able to repay it, and it might be over quite a long period of time, maybe it's 3 years, that your future self in 3 years' time is going to remember why you took that money out. So when we attach that to an important occasion like a 21st or bereavement, we have to think to ourselves, if we don't have the money right now, how much, if any, do we want to actually loan? Because how much of that do we want to burden on our future self 3 years down the track? And then coming back again to the philosophy of money, is when we give with intention. Now, if we give with intention and we're wanting something good to happen, it wouldn't really work if giving causes us stress and harm to ourselves and our family. Because if we cause harm on one hand, but we give in the other, they're almost like that they're offsetting each other to nothing. So I encourage you to think of give what you can give, because when you send that with intention and commitment to the thing that you care about, you're actually producing more good energy in this world. And certainly I don't think anyone would want you to cause harm to yourself in the process of giving. There is a great book about, it's called The Soul of Money by Lynn Twist, and it's all about your relationship with money. But she talks about when you give, it's engaging in your greatness. There's opportunities to engage in your greatness. So if you think about that when you give, and there's a special occasion, and you can think about all that you did to earn your money, you want to engage in your greatness by committing that money towards a purpose that is meaningful to you. And definitely the people that are receiving that gift would not want you to put yourself in harm's way or to stress you out. And I know it's incredibly hard to detach yourself from something that a lot of us have been brought up with, and the shame around money and attaching our worth. But the purpose of this series is for people to talk about money and get a better relationship with money, and to understand you are more than your money. Your worth is so much more to those that have passed than the amount of money that you can give. Certainly help the families out, that is out of love, but like I say, you want to give so that you create more in this world, not nothing or less, certainly not cause yourself more harm. Thank you. Thank you. That concludes today's session, and the next session we're going to be looking at is both growing your money of what you have and making it work for you, and equally about entering into debt and how that can sometimes be a good thing and how sometimes that can lead to stress. I look forward to you joining us. Thank you.